sports fans on YouTube once again. It's Kennard Vernon Stewart for Vernon Speaks Sports, mostly talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. I want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang. As always, War Eagle. We have the A-Day game coming up soon, but we got to practice first, baby. Got to practice first. Got to get ready for what should be a very eventful spring training. There's a lot of moving parts to this thing, and as I was digging a little bit into it, I thought about my man Travis Williams, who played for the Auburn Tigers back in the early 2000s. As a matter of fact, was a very unlikely middle linebacker on that undefeated team from back in 2003. Fast forward to now, after a brief stint in the NFL, finds himself as the linebackers coach back at his alma mater. He was promoted to the position back in 2015. For the first time in his tenure, he does not have the luxury of having a starting returning linebacker core. So his coaching abilities and his influence and his developmental prowess is really going to be put to the test, because he's going to have a brand new middle linebacker in KJ Britt, which we like to think that he's going to be very skilled. He obviously has a great deal of range, especially at the point of attack, and appears to have the athletic ability to cover things such as wheel routes and some of those instances where, say, Deshaun Davis used to be a setup for mismatches, which I will actually talk about in another video, because that really intrigued me. I thought about how Auburn missed Trey Matthews, and that's where Auburn missed Trey Matthews, because Trey Matthews actually used to help leverage out Deshaun Davis. He kind of had that physicality and a come up and hit, kind of helping to anchor Deshaun Davis. But I do feel like in a roundabout kind of way, what we didn't notice is that Deshaun Davis was a little more so alone this year, because the secondary was not quite as, obviously not as experienced. And sometimes those little things you missed and you miss and you don't realize it. That actually happened to me my senior year of basketball. We didn't realize how much we were going to miss this key player until the season unfolded. But back to the video. Travis Williams is going to have a huge challenge in making sure that he develops KJ Britt as a leader, and actually develops KJ Britt as a navigator on the football field, to see things happening, like to see those crack blocks coming, to see those misdirections, to help guide the defensive line. Now, one thing he will have some help with is having the defensive line all coming back. And what you have there is not only a lot of ability, but you have a great deal of leadership at that linebacker position. At that defensive line position. And that's going to carry over to the confidence of this team. So it's going to be very important for Travis Williams, the linebacker coach, to really start a culture of development with KJ Britt. Because KJ Britt, if he's going to be that Mike linebacker, he's going to have to be asked to grow up real quick. And especially opening season, when Auburn takes on Oregon in Arlington, Texas, to begin the season. That's going to be an incredible football game, but it's going to put Auburn immediately to the test. Auburn is going to see in the onset what is going on the Plains. That's probably going to be a top 10 matchup in some polls. I bet you ESPN finds a way to make that a top 10 game, at least for marquee purposes. But anyway, once again, it's K-Stu to go for Vernon Speaks Sports, mostly talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. I want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang, and Travis Williams really is going to have to reel those guys in. War Eagle.